So like Howard the Duck, right? Howard the Duck is in his like cubicle, and his boss comes over, who's a mouse, and he goes, "Jesus Christ, Howard, put on some pants. I don't want to hear about you from HR again."
Does he have a comically high voice, reminiscent of a certain other mouse?
He does. Or Nick
Right,
Fuentes.
right. So this is literally you need some sorcery on your side.
Oh, hi everybody.
Hi, Dr. Nick.
We
Jesus
have
Christ.
some
I could have stayed in bed.
We have some plans for some really interesting and fun
jerking off?
content. What?
Who was just jerking off in the background?
It
I
definitely
was-
was not me.
I was shaking a bottle of salad dressing for my
Oh.
dinner.
That's what the cool kids call it these days.
I am in fact having Newman's Own balsamic vinaigrette, because if you didn't know, Newman's Own actually gives most of their proceeds
Newman.
to a serious charity, because Paul Newman's son had a crippling ailment.
I did in fact know that.
Yeah.
But,
Some of us are decent people around here, Ayrton.
But before we go into our plan to save Disney from itself, I wanted to talk about Bullet Train, starring Brad Pitt, which I just watched on Netflix. And it's on Netflix right now.
Okay.
And if you have Netflix, don't watch it.
I mean, I would also, if we have some time today, like to discuss Willow, disingenuous commentators, and why I gave up my Disney Plus.
I mean, I
But
would
proceed.
have watched Willow if I hadn't already given up my Disney Plus. So I
Right.
understand.
Right.
So Bullet Train
Oh, does
is
Bob Iger not have a Twitter?
he does.
Oh, what is it? What?
I
I'm
think
gonna
it's
tag him in.
I think it's at Iger.
Hold on, I'm
Okay.
I'm putting a tweet out right now.
Awesome.
That's what I was doing.
Awesome. So Bullet Train is like, okay, so right, we're gonna try to make like a Guy Ritchie, Quentin Tarantino movie, but not as good. And we're gonna have a protagonist that's a low T Ryan Reynolds protagonist, but the twist is it's starring Brad Pitt as a low T, over the hill criminal. Right? Right. And instead of having things be really snappy, like a Guy Ritchie or a Quentin Tarantino movie, things are very slow and tedious. And the transitions spend too much time on the backstory of all of the ensemble characters. And like two of the bad guys, one of them is obsessed about Thomas the Tank Engine and friends, and he's based his entire morality system of human life about Thomas the Tank Engine.
My God, that does sound tedious.
It does. It does. And his brother is a standard British hooligan. But he loves his brother, and even though he is annoyed by his brother's obsession with Thomas the Tank Engine. And all of these things
So are we going to
interconnected.
figure out how to bring Thomas the Tank Engine into Marvel's Phase 5?
I mean, that's actually not very hard.
Anything's possible when you hear what I have planned for Phase 5.
So Rune, so we're doing a little quick shout outs for reviews. Would you tell me if Willow is worth me paying attention to whenever I decide to go back to Disney Plus again?
Oh no! See, here's the thing. Though they appear to be related subjects, they are separate subjects. So, in reverse order, no, never go back to Disney Plus. Disney Plus was price breaks at a certain level. So you could have Disney Plus and a package with Hulu and Discovery.
And ESPN.
Right. And then you could get, for less, just Disney Plus. Which is what I got. So that I could keep up with the show and I could do my part as a contributing member of the staff. they're raising their prices. So now the price for regular Disney Plus, just Disney Plus, will be the price of that former package. And the package will be more expensive.
Ugh.
And it's like, no, I'm not going to pay you what I already said I can't pay you for a service that I barely fucking use for this show. Because the question then becomes quality of content. I get more out of my $6 or $7.99 a month, almost $10 a month submission to Shudder than I get out of Disney Plus.
So how much does Willow suck?
That's the thing. My friend David and I watched it together. We have a friend named Candace who is a Willow fanatic. And we're like, oh, yeah, I wish Candace had been here. It would have been interesting to get her opinion. But she wasn't. We watched it. It is on the razor's edge between woke bullshit and serviceable fantasy, and hasn't decided which end of the spectrum to go on yet. Okay? But here's the thing of it. We're judging it as people going in, having seen Willow, and having a realistic expectation that, hey, I hate to tell people, Willow was kind of a shitty movie. It was fun. It was fun. It was great when you were a kid. You're an adult now. It's not that
It doesn't
great a
hold
movie.
up.
Right.
It doesn't hold up at all.
So it's like, okay, this could have weaknesses. This could have flaws. That's to be expected. No, the disingenuous commentator element comes in that almost sight unseen for multiple weeks of buildup, followed by its actual release and what people have said from the only 2 episodes they've seen. I'm sorry. People like Doomcock, and I'm surprised to say Midnight's Edge, are salting the mine. They are spreading disinformation. Ignore critics. Watch the show yourself. I would just say go to the high seas for it. Don't give Disney money.
My only thing is
except give Disney money so they can pay us for the work we're about to do for them.
Oh yeah, sure.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah,
Exactly.
I'll if Disney wants to start paying me to show for them, I'll change my tune in an instant.
I'm
So-
I'm 1,000% serious, Rune. I'm emailing this doc to them when we're done.
I get you.
So here's my problem with saying they're salting the mines. I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you, but the Disney Plus shows tend to have a pattern. The first 2 episodes are serviceable one moment, woke bullshit the next moment. Then the 3rd episode, they tease something might be good. Then the 4th episode, they seem to pay off that tease. And then the inevitable drop off in episode 5, 6, and 7, and maybe 8 if you go to 8.
I understand that. I'll even accept that assertion that they do have a trend. Right? Like, sure. But this is very pertinent because I'm something of a fantasy elitist snob dipshit. It's like, yeah, their sword work is garbage. That doesn't surprise me. TV and Hollywood sword work is often garbage. Right? But when one of your basic subplots is that the girl from nothing is found out to be the chosen one, and the princess who thought she was hot shit is now suddenly not the focus of attention and is pissed about it, and her best friend is revealed that she actually gives more shit about duty than that lifelong friendship, then no, I don't care if they tried to squeeze in some implicit might be gay subtext, because the fact of the matter is that none of that shit matters. The story is doing its job. Oh, but they're annoying teens. Yeah, they're annoying teens being annoying in a TV show. Shock and awe. It's literally a matter of there are things about the show that people don't like that we wouldn't have liked 20 years ago, or even 30 years ago, or 40 years ago, that wouldn't have been political talking points. But now they're woke because we're mad about the woke. And it's a bit of a toss-up if you want to say that they exist because of wokeness, or they're being pushed because of wokeness. It's like, yeah, that's possible, but we don't know. We don't have the We don't have the document in front of us that says "Thou shalt woke."
Well, I mean, the guy who was the showrunner, I believe, was the guy who wrote Solo, a Star Wars story.
Right, but how many corporate notes and editorials did he receive in development telling him what stupid decisions to make?
Now, that's the interesting question, because he got next to none on Solo. Because his dad was the underboss for Kathleen Kennedy.
Mm.
So it's possible he got a very low number of them, based off the fact that he did, favors for the boss. It's hard to say. So,
I mean, the rules of acquisition say never sleep with the boss's wife, always sleep with the boss.
So let's get into our topic du jour, because there's been a lot of news stories that say that Disney, the Marvel Comics Studios management team, are disappointed with Marvel Phase 4. And Church,
please.
Church, are you disappointed with Marvel Phase 4?
Marvel Phase 4 happened. That was a thing.
Hey,
We're currently still in it.
Marvel's Race War is the best movie they've ever made.
Marvel's Race War is the last part of Phase 4 as well.
I stand behind it. That is the best movie they've made.
So, like the current direction or lack thereof of Marvel, what do you think about it right now, Church?
Actually, I don't have that many thoughts on it. I did want to bring in someone who actually had some ideas on this.
Is she black and a female?
You'll have to see. It's a very surprise guest.
What does Mr. Netanyahu have to say?
I messed the timing up on that one, Church.
You should have just changed your logo and did it that way, man.
No, man. No, it was going to be glorious. But now it's over, and the show's over because I'm embarrassed. No, Marvel's Phase 4. My wife liked She-Hulk, so I can't take that away from it. I guess my wife was the customer that She-Hulk was designed for, so I get that. Moon Knight happened, and that gives us the opportunity of Moon Knight chasing Dracula.
Where's my fucking $20, Dracula?
And then Blade kills Dracula before Moon Knight can get his $20 back. So Moon Knight's sitting there rummaging through his pockets while he's dead, trying to find any loose change.
Well, no, what you get is a Blade Moon Knight.
Hold on, we're not writing
That's
Phase 5 yet,
amazing.
guys.
Sorry,
we haven't got there yet. We haven't got there yet.
A Moon Knight Blade fist fight sounds amazing, with Moon Knight being completely out of it, be like, I want my $20.
But no, let me pull up the actual document. We've got a document for what Phase 4 is, thanks to Larry here. So let's just spell out what Phase 4 was for the audience in case people don't understand or care as
So
much
would you
as
say this is a post-mortem for Phase 4?
Yeah. Let me go ahead and should I pull that up? Should I just get that up on stream so we can see it?
Yeah,
It's gonna be a deep anal cyst.
I'll get my guitar and start playing Closing Time for Phase 4.
All right. So
Also, Larry, I respect that Mr. Plinkett reference.
You are welcome, sir.
Mad respect.
what the fuck? Here we go. All right. So films, we've got Black Widow, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, Eternals.
Hold up. Yeah. Oh, you already said Black Widow. It's so insignificant. I thought you didn't say it.
No, I did mention it. I forgot I had mentioned it until you brought it up, though. So thank you. Spider-Man: No Way Home, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Thor: Love and Thunder, and Black Panther: Race War. WandaVision, The Falcon and the Race War, Loki season 1, What If, Hawkeye, Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, and She-Hulk Attorney at Law, as well as television specials Werewolf by Night and the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. So, out of all of that, personally, and we can go around the horn, personally, the things that offended me the least, again, She-Hulk, my wife enjoyed. I know it offended a lot of people. I didn't watch all of it, but What If? I always appreciate What If content, even if it's not the best content in the world. Spider-Man No Way Home wasn't completely and totally awful. I'm searching for good things to say about any more of it.
So hold up. Let me paint some good things that could be said. So first of all,
Moon Knight was okay.
So of the Marvel movies, Spider-Man No Way Home was actually the best movie because it had heart. It was a
Personally, I
positive
agree.
thing.
Yes.
Race War was the best movie because it was the funniest.
Water Mexicans do add a certain prestige to good films.
The problem with all the movies is most of them were ranging from mediocre to terrible in their scenes, and in movies like The Eternal, almost everything was terrible.
Yes.
In movies like Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, it was mostly good, and then there were scenes of like, hey, what if we go to the exposition store where we can see our backstories projected live for anybody else who's walking around the city street to look at it?
I like Doctor Strange cinematography. I hate
the storytelling is terrible.
Well,
yes.
Let's be real. It's because they didn't let Sam Raimi be Sam Raimi. There was too much studio interference.
It's because
Sam
they're
Raimi
trying to
came in
redeem.
clean up the mess.
No, they're trying to redeem Wanda for something that shouldn't be redeemable.
Yeah,
like if it would have been Agatha or any other villain, they would have just been like, "Hey, fuck you, you're stupid."
Well,
it wasn't a mind control. It wasn't you were under the influence of this mythical kryptonite type shit. It was, you were depressed, so you killed a bunch of people.
Well, let's clarify something.
You poor baby.
Let's clarify something really important here, okay? In the previous phases, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was ancillary to the MCU. I don't care if people said they liked it. I don't care if people said that it had good stuff. I don't care if it's... But Agent Paulson, you didn't need to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to get everything you needed out of the Infinity War sequence.
Correct.
Right. Okay.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. at best was, hey, look, we're going to add some sprinkles on top of everything. You like sprinkles, don't you?
Our first primary problem, for what we're going to get to later, is even if there are things in here that we like, there's a lot of fat to trim in this phase.
You shouldn't have to watch anything from Disney Plus to enjoy the MCU.
Right.
I think overall what you're getting at.
Well, also here's the problem though. None of these things have any continuity tie-ins to each other.
I mean, they don't, but they do. That's the thing. The expectation from a corporate perspective is consume all of it. It's all interconnected, guys. But then it doesn't
that slop.
But then it doesn't contribute to an overall narrative. And that's the thing, is that the films, these 7 films, need to have a point, something they are moving towards.
Sorry to interrupt, Rune. Larry said one of the key words, and now that it is no longer No Ralph November, we must be reminded that Ethan Ralph of the Killstream is a convicted sex offender.
Oh, I mean, hey, if we work hard enough, I'm sure we'll hit racism time if we try.
Oh, we're 1,000%
But-
gonna hit racism time at some
But,
point.
but what I'm saying is that these 7 films, just the films, we'll ignore the TV for just a moment, need to be building up to something, and they're not. Right now, there's a hint of something that could have been built up to that they didn't get to, which we'll talk about later. Right.
Mhm.
But when we're hashing out, are these good or are these bad? I propose that we discuss TV and film as separate, expressly because they are not just different audiences, but different foci. Although we could get into how some of these TV series
get
are
behind
actually, we could get behind how some of these TV series are actually movies that
All
I
of them
think,
are.
that I think Disney didn't have competence in for theatrical release, so they were broken up into television shows, and that's to their
No,
detriment.
all of them are. All of them are. So there's a strategy in Hollywood that what you do is you take a film and you add in fat, then you divide it up in between 7 and 10 episodes, and you make it into a TV series because you can do more with less and make more money.
The problem is that if you like a hamburger, even if you like a lean burger, you need a little fat for flavor. But nobody is going to eat a sandwich that is 2 pieces of bread, some ketchup, some mayonnaise, some mustard, and a ball of fat.
Hey, I've totally had like butter and cheese sandwiches before. It's
I
fucking
mean,
delicious.
you've not been to Toadsuck, Arkansas.
No. I'm saying just a ball of fat, just hamburger fat.
If it's rendered properly, I might. Don't.
There is such a thing as a pork butt sandwich, bro.
Right, but that has pork in it.
No. The pork is in quotes.
But yeah, and I'm going to also put a non-controversial hot take. If all of the sequence 1 through 3 MCU movies didn't have a narrative they were going to, most of those movies would be painfully mediocre, and there wouldn't be as many of them. The narrative, it's all going towards something. It's why we love the MCU as a chain of product.
Right.
So Phase 4 is failed because it's not going anywhere. And certain things like Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Bracelets were filmed in such a way as to deliberately make China angry.
Look, they're just trying to incorporate Wonder Woman heavily into the MCU. So they got to get the magic bracelets introduced somehow.
Yeah. So, what I want to start off with.
Real quick before we continue, 2 things. One, our biggest rule is we can only work with what we have.
Yes.
We have to take what's already been established and just go forward from here. We can't change anything that happened in Phase 4. That's it. We're stuck with with what we got.
No, that rule was not established when I came up with my pitch. So that rule
it was established in the chat like 3 days ago.
Well, guys.
I wasn't listening.
Hold up, church. I got a way to cover you, dog. I got a way to cover you.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I think we should be able to make judicious changes. Okay, but I do believe Ayrton has a point. We do need to come into it as though we are fresh hires, and this is the tumor we've been given to fix.
Oh, that I can do.
Okay, so
like for example, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. We're not going to be able to make radical changes to that movie right now because it's going to come out in February. But we could add an credit scene to that movie, for example.
Right.
Well, if we're gonna start introducing what our Phase 5 would be, I would like the honors of going first, just for the simple fact that I feel like it'll leave a nice canvas for everybody else to jump onto.
Well, let me throw out one other thing. Anybody listening on YouTube, which the other guys can see, or Rumble, which I have the Rumble chat up in a separate window. If anybody listening throws out ideas, we will consider them.
Well, just to round out,
you won't get a cut of the money if they decide to hire us, but we'll consider your ideas.
Just to round out, because I know that Church gave his interpretation. I want to hear what Larry's got. Ayrton, I'm sure you have one. But the Phase 4 things that I didn't mind. Okay? No Way Home was worth the wait. I was actually disappointed in Multiverse of Madness, but it wasn't offensively bad to me at the moment of watching. Only in the aftermath. I watched half of WandaVision before we dropped off. I watched Loki, and it's like, wow, that last 2 episodes are great. Everything else was awful. Hawkeye was surprisingly fun only when Renner was on screen. When they actually let the guy playing Hawkeye have fun, he's pretty good. I liked Moon Knight. I know that puts me on the outs with Church.
I didn't hate it.
Yeah. And I found Werewolf by Night painfully banal. They do not understand the character of Jack Russell. They did it terrible. I get they were trying to be tongue-in-cheek and Universal Monsters without being Universal Monsters. But, I mean, come on, man.
I want to interject. I didn't hate Moon Knight. I just didn't understand what was going on in the first episode and couldn't be fucked to watch anymore.
Sure. But ultimately, the thing is that having run down that list, right, I stopped watching Miss Marvel in the middle. That's bad. Right? I was talking to my friend David last night, and I pointed out I had not watched Winter Soldier and the Falcon because we had planned to watch it together, and life came up and things got busy, and when we had the opportunity to pick it up again, we didn't. We just didn't care, right? And that is the thing. It's like, I didn't watch What If. Why? I don't care. If your product is utterly forgettable, that even if there are really, really good performances in it, that people don't want to give it a shot, you have a problem. Because I also haven't watched Black Widow. I tried to watch Eternals. I really did. I tried to watch Inhumans. I really did. And time and again, it's just like, I don't care. I can't into this enough to give a shit. And I only ever watched the first episode of She-Hulk. Holy shit.
So, of the MCU TV shows in Disney Plus, I have not successfully watched one from start to finish. They're all too terrible. And of the ones
I did watch Falcon and Winter Soldier, which the first couple episodes were cool, and then it got so stupid.
Of the shows I watched, the one I hated the least was Miss Marvel. Because it was at least about something, and it was about a character in a way that was at least it was a thing that was real. Everything else was a lot of garbage. Of the movies, I liked Spider-Man No Way Home because it is, again, about something. It's about characters. It's about things that are real. Eternals was just god-awful. And I'm waiting for a truck to drop off Marvel Cinematic Universe Presents Race War. So I can fully appreciate how terrible it is.
No, it's amazing.
All right.
Yeah.
So, Church,
that's about venue. That's about where I'm at. Marvel's Race War is hilarious, and Spider-Man I enjoyed it, and I didn't hate Moon Knight, but I think that's all I watched.
So, Church, since this is your venue, you get to start with your take on Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
He's going for a cigarette, isn't he?
Should we bring up the Phase 5 list so that we know what we're doing?
Oh no, that's not how I'm playing this game. That's not how I'm playing this game at all. No,
so
I actually have the perfect.
Listen, I need you guys to give me an extra $2 billion.
Yeah,
because I'm just gonna fuck around.
No, I'm going to fix everything. So I've got a perfect plan, okay? We know that the X-Men are becoming a thing in the MCU soon. So I'm going to tackle two birds with one stone. I'm going to take a magic eraser and clean up all the shit that Marvel Studios has left behind since Endgame. And I'm going to introduce the X-Men. And it's going to start with a simple movie with a simple opening, okay? We've got young Magneto and young Professor Xavier walking through Israel.
I hope somebody's typing who's faster at typing than I am.
I could go back and add it tomorrow.
Right. But... give me a second. What is this called? What's its name?
Oh no, we're getting there.
All right.
We're getting there. I'm introducing it as if it were the movie you were watching.
All right.
So we open up with a scene of young Xavier and young Magneto walking through Israel, having a discussion about making mutants and humans, on the same page, and how their ideology is different, but they can work together to build a better future. And then a flash of light happens, and David Haller is there with a gun, and he aims it at Magneto, and he fires, but he misses, and he kills Professor Xavier, launching us into...
Who's David Haller?
David Haller, a.k.a. Legion, a.k.a. Professor Xavier's crazy son.
Yeah,
launching
from the
us
FX
into
series.
The title screen, Age of Apocalypse. Okay? So we're thrust into an alternate future timeline where we introduce the X-Men as they would have existed without Professor Xavier and Magneto as the leader of the X-Men. And mutant kind and humankind are in two different camps. America has basically shoved humans into indoctrination camps, and Cyclops is a bad guy, and Wolverine doesn't have a hand, and all kind of crazy shit, right? And we go through the entire Age of Apocalypse storyline until we get to the end, where X-Man saves the day and reignites the future, and Bishop and everybody else who, with all these time-traveling assholes. So, at the end of it, we come back into the normal MCU timeline right before the Battle of New York, in which we see the original fight scene of the original Avengers, except there's X-Men helping them fight off the invasion that brought on by Loki.
Okay.
And then everything is reset. Or let's not do the Battle of New York. Let's do the Battle of Thanos. Let's just introduce them right there at the end of the Battle of Thanos with X-Men characters now part of the MCU.
I was trying to share the document while we typed this out live, but there it goes. Now
it's on screen.
Oh, okay. On my end, it was just white, and I was confused.
But yeah,
so basically, in that scene when all the portals open and all the army of people wander in to fuck up Thanos' shit,
instead of just being
the X-Men
Avengers,
are there
now.
As well.
Yep.
So listen, CGI artist. I know you made all this CGI vomit, but we need you to expand the CGI vomit.
Look, I've seen people on Twitter do it already. I've seen Jack Sparrow in that fight.
Well, wait a minute. I have to ask a pertinent question from a creative standpoint.
Yeah.
Are you going to go in this new incarnation of the X-Men? Are you going to go full classic costume, or are you going to stick with the Fox costumes?
Oh no, classic costumes are a must.
Okay, so basically,
now, if you don't want Wolverine in yellow spandex, you can have the brown outfit.
Wait. So what you're saying
I say brown.
So you're saying the portal opens, a Black Hawk jet flies out, and there's a quick cut as the
and you hear the
Bombay doors open. There's the X-Men standing ready to do the hot drop, and Cyclops is like, "Let's do it," and then they jump in, literally.
And that's the end of the movie. So we're left off at the end of Endgame, and none of the rest of this bullshit happened, and now we have the X-Men.
All right,
Phase 5 has begun.
Okay, now do you have more to Phase 5, or can I propose a thing where I would jump in?
I figured we'd just go around the horn until we filled up the list.
Okay, well, then I'm going to let somebody else try to type.
I think we should do this as opening gambits. And Church's opening gambit is Age of the Apocalypse.
Well, my
And
notion
then
is,
we go down the list because I think that'll be more organized method.
well, see, my notion actually is a film that could either stand alone as a start, or it could actually play off of what Church just made. Okay, and that is Doc Strange 3, which we will call anything other than Electric Boogaloo.
It's going to be Electric Threegaloo.
Yeah. But as I said in the Twitter chat, the horrible real of revelation is that reality itself has become deranged due to the damage caused by the Darkhold in Multiverse of Madness and WandaVision, by the miscast spell in No Way Home. The reason that all of the occult forces of Marveldom seem to be coming forward is the walls between worlds have been freaking shattered, right? And what is discovered by Doc Strange is that this is all the fault of the Lilin summoning their mother Lilith to initiate the Midnight Sun storyline, right? And what she's basically done is she's reached back through history, back in time, and made fundamental edits to fate. She's made fundamental alterations to fate that have made people make bad decisions at the right moment, right? So when Captain America decides to go back and be with his girlfriend and get old, this was a mistake. When Sam Wilson picks up the shield and decides to become a dipshit rather than give it to the Winter Soldier, this was a mistake. Right? All of these things were
I
errors.
feel like this was made for somebody else. It was. Give it to
right.
Give it to Bucky.
Right. All of these were intentional errors to degrade the weave of reality for the demonic incursion. Right? And so Doc Strange has to form a Avengers-like super team of occult-themed heroes in the 11th hour to fight a demonic invasion, right? And then
isn't there something kind of like the Justice League Dark, but for the Avengers? Isn't there a subset of them?
It's called the Midnight Suns.
Yeah,
I thought
Venom,
there was
Venom, Blade, Ghost Rider.
Venom is not a Midnight
Morbius.
Sun.
He was an honorary Midnight Sun.
No, he was not.
He was in the Secret Defenders, I think.
Yeah.
Was there not a Venom comic under the Midnight Sun banner?
No. There was a Midnight Suns comic where Venom appeared as a guest antagonist because it was in a Spider-Man book. But the thing is that Doc Strange also made the Secret Defenders, which is a separate super team for different things. But that's comic lore. The important point is that Doc Strange has to make a team at the 11th hour to deal with supernatural threats rising up from what is basically hell, right? And this gives them an opportunity to introduce correctly and repair the damage done by Love and Thunder of the notions of infinity and eternity, the cosmic entities and the balance, right? And the idea that there is bigger shit going on in the Marvel Universe that the people at the street level must never know about. So if anything seemed weird and you didn't like it, it was because basically, literally, a wizard did it.
Wolverine was a Midnight Sun.
Wolverine's been part of every group.
He wasn't.
He's one of the Fantastic Four.
The problem is recently a Midnight Suns video game came out, but it's not the Midnight Suns. It's Avengers Dark. Because Iron Man was never a Midnight Sun. Wolverine was never a Midnight Sun. He's not one of the 6.
In fairness,
or is it 9?
Tony Stark is now the Sorcerer Supreme, so he gets to be in it now.
Bullshit.
I'm not going to get into that.
So
I'm looking at the 616 wiki for it, and there are a lot of members that definitely go over 9. Like Scarlet Spider was a member.
Right, but that's the thing, though, is that those guys aren't actual Midnight Suns. That's corporate cash-in Midnight Suns. The actual Midnight Suns is Blade, Ghost Rider, Johnny Blaze.
Which Ghost Rider? Oh, Blaze? Okay.
No, it's Johnny Blaze, and Ghost Rider is a separate entity because Zarthos and Blaze were separated.
So it was Ketch, Ghost Rider?
No, it was Zarthos as the Ghost Rider. He hadn't made his play to become a Hell Lord yet.
Okay.
So you got Blaze, you got Blade, you got Ghost Rider, you got Hannibal King, and you got Morbius.
Because we got a Morb.
Well,
it's Morbin time.
It is Morbin time.
So, Ayrton, what is your opener for Phase 5?
You know, being the one who came up with this idea, you would think I'd be more prepared for this, but I'm not.
I can actually expound while you think for a second if you need a minute.
Well, I mean, I could go with my idea, but I wanted to give Ayrton, because mine's could be the most conservative opener.
So I have a semblance of an idea. It's not flushed out enough, so maybe you guys can help. Bringing in the Fantastic Four.
Okay.
Right. So I want to do classic.
Doom approves of this.
I want to do classic, proper Fantastic Four origin.
So we need to open with this montage, like maybe 10 minutes of the like old, grainy found film type shit of them like operating the rocket ship and going into space.
Well, so I have an idea to move it kind of forward into the modern MCU timeline. So they're actually in space in their ship when the snap happens.
Oh, okay.
And then so when it brings everybody back, that's when their ship gets hit by the cosmic rays, and since they just got brought back into reality, they wouldn't be able to prepare for it.
They weren't okay.
That is a good idea.
I was saying, interesting question. Which snap? The first snap?
The first snap.
Or the second snap?
They get buffed out of existence in the first snap, and then 5 years later they're brought back to the exact same spot. But because it's 5 years in the future, the cosmic rays are in their path.
Right.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking for kind of setting up, putting them in so it makes sense in the timeline.
Oh, and the cosmic rays could be in their path. Maybe you introduce Galactus in the background, kind of like because he was like heading towards the planet because of the thing going on or something.
Yeah, maybe the Silver Surfer is like dragging. Maybe it's like awake from the Silver Surfer.
What you do is the snap happens. Fantastic Four reappear, right? And you show the energy wake, right, from the snap. And he goes out into deep space in the middle of nowhere, and there's a planet with the device for consuming planets hanging overhead. And suddenly, as it's about to descend, it stops and like turns, and you have the big CGI thing where it's this slow rotation, right?
Yeah.
And then Galactus begins to move. The vessel begins to move towards Earth because it's been drawn.
It's proper Galactus, a giant dude in a goofy suit.
Right. Yes. But it's been drawn by the energy of the snap because it's a much more fulfilling energy source than a planet.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that. And then I don't want to bring Galactus in fully as like the villain.
No. You introduce him at the end scene. You have him.
Yeah, like a little
for a future.
A quick little flash at the end. And then as far as like the main movie, I haven't really got much for that yet. I guess kind of your typical fish out of water, people trying to figure out their powers sort of thing, like they did in the original Fantastic Four movie, but better.
I'm going to propose an interesting one real quick because I know we have more Phase 5 to discuss. But at some point we have to deal with Secret Invasion. Super Skrull.
Well, hold up. Secret Invasion is going to be on the TV.
Yeah. But seriously, as much as I love Doom, and Doom demands screen time, the thing is that they've tried to do Doom 3 times and never quite hit the mark.
The first time that was the closest.
It was
Yeah.
pretty good, but I'm just saying, do Super Scroll. Do an antagonist most people haven't heard of. It's
Mole Man.
I think we should.
Oh man!
I think we should do Mole Man just because that is the original one, and I want to make this as close to the original Fantastic Four origin as possible.
I mean, that does dovetail with the Legion of Monsters unless you get back to Werewolf by Night and make that actually matter. So, okay.
So, my opener is to make a couple tweaks to...
Should I have been writing that down, by the way?
Somebody should have.
I've got it.
Okay.
So my opener is we take the next movie that's actually going to show up, Quantumania, right? We make a few slight changes where Kang isn't really a bad guy. Kang's, doing Kang stuff because there's a bigger problem in the multiverse.
Because he was Kangs and shit.
I mean, he was, because Kang is plural. And there's the Congress of Kangs and all that stuff. But basically, minimal changes on that front. But we do an end credit sequence where we go to Benicio del Toro, and we go to.
Hold on, I was finishing up Rune's thing there. What did you say your entry was, Larry?
I'm making slight modifications to Ant-Man and Wasp: Quantumania.
Okay.
And we do an end credit scene where we have Benicio del Toro playing the Collector, and we have Jeff Goldblum playing the Grandmaster, saying to a figure in the darkness, "What do you think?" The figure in the darkness says,
"You motherfucker, you're setting up Secret Wars."
Just a second. The figure in the darkness says, "I don't know. These are an odd motley collection of realities." To which the Collector says, "Of course. That's why we get only the best for you." And then the light panel goes off and we see an unmistakable set of Jerry curls. And Secret Wars becomes the new Thanos event. And all of the incongruities in Phase 4, and even you guys deciding to, we're going to throw a whole new movie all the way at the beginning, even though that's not how production schedules work. We're just going to make it happen.
Yeah, I don't care.
These things are all incongruous because it's the Collector and the Grandmaster reviewing realities from to present to the Beyonder to make his war world with. So it's going to be a combination of Contest of Champions and Secret Wars.
Now, wait a minute. Does that mean that when we get to actual Secret Wars, it's not just good versus evil, but it's different reality versions of different heroes and villains against each other?
That's what Secret Wars was in 2015.
Yep. So it's good. So it's also going to take in elements of Secret Wars 2015, which I didn't like, but again, I'm trying to work with something that will work with what we already have.
You work with what you get. So you basically are saying we got to get Hugh Jackman in the togs one more time.
Well, I mean, that's already coming up.
Two more times. Yeah, we get him with Deadpool, and then we get him with Secret Wars. Basically, we're just going to wait until he's in a coffin, and we're going to paint the Wolverine costume on the outside of the coffin and prop it up and dub his voice over for the rest. He's never going to not be Wolverine. He just doesn't realize that yet.
He can play the Old Man Logan part of Secret Wars 2015.
Right.
Cross Comics says Doom's origin can't be tied to Fantastic Four.
So my idea with that,
but hold on,
okay,
go ahead.
Is to have a mid-credit scenes before the Galactus one of Doom in Latveria at like a state dinner or something like that, and it just kind of shows him it kind of shows him from the back while he's addressing the people at his table or something at his gala or whatever, and then we can bring Doom in his own sort of thing.
Well, I've got one a little better. I think we can actually go on to the Doctor Strange 3 idea, because Doom is also intertwined with Strange. You introduced Doom in that.
Okay.
Well, here's
You could do the contest
Because
of
well, with Lilith being introduced, you could just explain that Victor Von Doom's mother's soul is trapped in hell, and you just kind of get a glimpse of him running around after Mephisto in the background.
Well, let me throw this out there because I think this would be very interesting. So you have the Fantastic Four film, and at some point the Fantastic Four are on Earth, and they're catching up post snap, right? And as Reed is reading the paper, he has a sudden look of shock because he's still looking at the date, and he asks somebody, "What about Victor?" And people are like, "Who?" Right? Because remember, Victor Von Doom got quote mutilated. You know, the accident happened while they were in school, right? So you can say that Von Doom was in recovery in the hospital during Infinity War, and then or during the invasion with Loki, and just kind of slipped through the cracks. Nobody knows what happened to him, right? And then when you're doing the Doc Strange film, you know, as Doc Strange is jumping from place to place trying to pick his team, who's the best team to fight this threat? You have him appear at like this far distant Tibetan monastery or Tibetan-like monastery, and you have him peek in because he's Doc Strange and he can do that. And someone is undergoing a esoteric ritual, and they're putting a metal mask on his face, red hot, right? And Strange is like, no, not this one. He's too angry, right? and goes. And then when you finally get around to it, you never actually describe how Dr. Doom got his background because people have seen it piecemeal. He was rising and conquering Latveria while Reed was gone, and now that Reed's back, all that old business and hatred is just right to the surface.
All right. So let's go with the second movie.
Well, real quick, I have to amend that because of the way that the MCU does things, X-Men Age of Apocalypse is going to have piecemeal parts of Onslaught in it. I know, but you have to have at least two storylines to draw off of.
Now, Rune, didn't you come up with an idea to tie Apocalypse to Wakanda?
Yes.
All right.
Which oddly enough fixes a lot of problems with Black Panther race war.
So we should pull up the actual Phase 5 list if we're going.
By the way, I
Mm-hmm.
feel proud that I introduced the concept of Black Panther race war as a meme, and we've all accepted that this is a meme.
Dude, I've gotten all my coworkers to refer to it as that, or the ones that watch superhero content. That's what we refer to it at work. I gave them like my review of it and shit. Yeah, people in my real life call it that now.
Right. So yeah, but no, I absolutely believe we should be pulling up the Phase 5 list and going point by point. What I find interesting is that none of our suggestions counteract each other. If anything, they contribute. Like this is a missing phase.
Which just means that we've been doing this show together way too long.
Yeah.
Well, more importantly, what this means is we have a cohesive idea that we're bringing this shattered fragment of the MCU together.
Well, it also depicts our personalities pretty well, I think, because mine's basically going in and saying, "Hey, you all fucked up, and I'm here to fix it." And Larry's in the background going, "Well, I think I can fix what you've got. Let me just not waste $2 billion. I'm like, "Fuck your $2 billion. I wiped my ass with it. You fuck. You can't have it."
Oh.
I mean, come on, Church. Realistically, $1 billion of that $2 billion you're going to spend is just your cocaine expenses.
What are you talking about? I've already spent all my petty cash on cocaine.
We spent all the petty cash. All right, so here's the development list for the films for Phase 5 that they have.
Well, I mean, you've addressed Ant-Man and the Wasp and Quantum Mania as using it as a springboard to other things, Larry.
And Ant-Man and the Wasp being in the quantum realm for an extended period of time actually omits this movie from being affected basically by anything that we're doing because of the wonkiness of the quantum realm.
So the real question is, does Guardians 3 need editorial?
So here's my modification to Guardians 3 is we make a few slight tweaks because I believe, again, a few slight tweaks are all we need for Guardians 3, and that is to have Magnus be the villain. So it's Adam Warlock versus future Adam Warlock, which ties in the consequences of time travel being bad and everything. But Magnus is like, listen, I got the Soul Gem, right? I need to put everybody in our universe into the Soul Gem because shit's about to get fucked up. And the only way I'm going to be able...
Go ahead.
The only way I'm going to be able to put everybody inside the Soul Gem is have a militant religion that enslaves everybody first so that they all agree to go in there.
I mean, that does riff on what I was working on, because now the Magus is a heroic villain insofar as he'll try to assert, much like Thanos, that he's trying to save everyone. We'll all be safe in the Soul Gem from what's going on to the rest of the universe. But you have to absolutely believe in his absolute faith. Heresy must be expurged. Satanism must be destroyed, etc.
Exactly.
And then we should have a couple things like when they're flying around, kind of in this maybe the second act before the main climax, trying to figure out what's going on. Maybe we see a couple of dead worlds, kind of that nod back to Galactus at the end of the Fantastic Four movie.
Okay, can I propose something silly? It's not stupid, but I think it's
of course.
Okay, I'm not saying throw Thor to the curb. Okay, because Chris Hemsworth himself has said, "I'll come back and do more Thor if you fix it." Okay, but again, we're building a team. We've got to take down the Magus, right? You've got the Guardians. You've got Adam Warlock as a cool ally, right? And it's like, man, we need a big guy. Well, I am a big guy, says Drax. No, we need a bigger guy, a different big guy. We need like Thor, and everyone's like, yeah, but we can't go get the Angel Man. He's back on Earth, right? And so, because somebody has heard something somewhere, they go and get Beta Ray Bill.
Damn right they do.
I want Beta Ray Bill.
And you know who else happened? You know who else happened to show up when they put the call out to go against Magnus? Marvel.
Well, we're
hold on.
As dead as we believe.
No. Well, we undid all that. Remember?
No,
Endgame happened.
But I mean, even in comics, he's dead from cancer.
No. You don't understand.
Okay.
We got a blank slate right after the Age of Apocalypse. We don't know if we saw Marvel instead of Carol Danvers in that Endgame scene now.
I get you.
But see, we've got Marvel out in space, and instead of Carol Danvers, we've got Monica Rambeau, which goes into the Marvels. See, it's not Spectrum. Out of respect for my wife, Monica Rambeau is Miss Marvel, or Captain Marvel on Earth.
Okay.
And in the Spectrum suit with pockets, goddammit. It's got to have pockets. It's important that suit has pockets. Sorry.
All right. So, riffing all. Do any of you guys have any ideas for another movie to add in here?
Well,
beyond the three that we've already created.
I just scratched off the Marvels, and we're doing Captain Marvel again, but it's a split story between the origin of Marvel and Monica Rambeau.
So hold up.
I have to be honest about something real quick. I don't know what's up with the Marvels. I don't know what the plan is for that. And I know absolutely nothing about Captain America: New World Order.
From the rumor mill I've heard about the Marvels, it's going to be a movie about Kamala Khan, Carol Danvers, Monica Rambeau, and Blue Marvel.
So hold on to your butts, guys. So this is the first movie we can really start to get weird with, because like
I'm taking my pants off.
Is this going to be essentially a lesbian porno?
No.
Oh.
So this movie, we're going to bring in Blue Marvel. Even though he's an obscure character, we're bringing in Blue Marvel. We're bringing in Guinness Vel.
What'd you just call me?
No, Guinness Vel.
Oh.
Although Guinness Vel was drawn in a way that he looks like a space Irishman. And when we initially found him, he was a degenerate gambler. So, I mean, if you want to take that onto yourself, you can. And
no comment.
And we can't use the name the Dire Wraiths, but it's Captain Marvel, broad bracket, and her team fighting not so much the Dire Wraiths, but we're going to basically use the Jinn concept as it was introduced in Miss Marvel, the TV show. And they're invading our reality because, again, the Collector and the Grandmaster and Jerry Curl Beyonder are starting to tear realities apart to create their war world. Now,
okay, can I make a suggestion to both deal with the copyright problem and seed another idea?
Okay.
Instead of Dire Wraiths, so they will be visually distinct yet similar, because they're still two-dimensional shadow-like entities that possess people and use strange otherworldly magic. We call them the Voidborn, Void Singers, Void Walkers, something.
But I mean, we could say it's connected to the Jinn thing, and that's why Kamala Khan's in outer space dealing with it.
No, I got a reason for this. Okay, and you intimate that they are the vanguard of something even worse, right? Mm-hmm. So fighting them is even more dire because if you don't stop them, they're gonna summon somebody, right? And this gives you the opportunity at end of film to have a end of credit scene with a dude curled up in like a trench coat in an alleyway in a cardboard box in the rain with like a little lamp to keep himself warm and lit, who's got a crumpled up Century comic in his dirty little hands.
Interesting.
And that's just where you leave it because you're introducing the Sentry, but the Sentry is hiding from the Void.
And I've got another one that we need to introduce between.
But hold on.
Mm-hmm. Before I said Marvel, and you know that's a bit much. What about Quasar?
I'd be down with Quasar.
Yeah, we can throw him in there.
Also,
but here's my post-credit sequence for the Marvels. So Brie Larson's character gets driven insane by the villains, and she's about to go on a rampage in San Francisco, right on the Golden Gate Bridge,
and Professor X sends Rogue in to steal her powers.
Well, I wasn't going to use that part.
I think we should
use it. I gave you the X-Men. Use the X-Men.
Well, hold up. Where we hear this woman saying, "Sugar, I don't want to do this, but I'm going to have to stop you any way I can." And then, yes, the movie ends in a post-credit sequence with Rogue being introduced and stealing the powers. This is the first time somebody from the X-Men reality is crossed over. Which is going to tie into Loki season 2 when Deadpool gets brought in.
I would like to throw something your way, Church, for Guardians, which could also flitter about in Marvels. Which is, I would like it if more characters, when they're talking about space and about the forces in the galaxy, would mention, we don't go here, that's the Shi'ar Empire, you don't fuck with them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, now you've got the X-Men, so you've got the potential for the Phoenix Saga to actually be done right.
Right. You see the Shi'ar Empire as this force strong enough that Thanos didn't fuck with them during Infinity War,
Well, how else? Well, you've got to have the you've got to have the Phoenix Force involved to do Secret Wars at the end of all this,
right? But you mentioned the Shi'ar. This force so powerful Thanos didn't fuck with them directly. That the Skrulls have not fucked with them directly. That Marvel's people, the Kree haven't fucked with them directly. Because the Shi'ar are what? They're like ancient Rome writ large.
No, I've got it. I've got it, Rune. When they're bringing forces together, they talk about putting a call out to the Nova Force, and the Rocket or somebody who's in the know about things at this point in time looks over and goes, the Nova Force are a little occupied right now in Shi'ar territory. Apparently there was a Brood invasion over there, and they just leave it at that.
Right.
But you introduce you just basically sideline in, hey, we're expanding on we're doing that thing that Jack Kirby always wanted to do, and expanding in the space realm.
I mean, you make a slight adjustment. You have Rocket say, "Look, I got a hold of that Gladiator guy, but he said they're dealing with Brood." So now you haven't just named the Shi'ar Empire as Exden. You specifically named the Honor Guard, which is basically a super team. Because Gladiator and those other powers, they often are running around fucking with the Starjammers, who don't need to be named, but we'll get to that.
So, Captain America: New World Order, right? So, we're up in the sky, right?
I
we're
swear
up in
to God,
universes.
we need to get Alex Jones cameo in this movie.
Well, I mean, we can get J. Jonah Jameson as Alex Jones cameo in this movie.
What is the actual film like? Before we start
at this point, there's not a film there.
Okay, it's just a name.
Right. Well, the Marvels is currently shooting, and they have the cast for Captain America: New World Order, which is including Harrison Ford as Thunderbolt Ross, replacing the actor who did Thunderbolt Ross originally.
Because he died, didn't he?
Yes, he did. So now,
rest in peace.
New World Order is my first completely from the bare bones, build it up from the ground up movie. So Thunderbolt Ross.
Before you dig into it, I just have one question. Are you using this as a vehicle for Hydra Cap? Because that's what I expect real life's going to do.
No.
Okay.
So there's all these crises going on. There's weird shit with alternate dimensions going on. And Captain Marvel got ganked by some chick with big flowing hair with a white highlight in it. And nobody knows who she is.
Some Daisy Duke.
Exactly.
From Alabama.
Exactly. And Thunderbolt Ross says, listen, we're repealing the Sokovia Accords, and we're going to get an Avengers team. But it's not going to be just a regular Avengers team. It's going to be a Make America Great Avengers team. It's USA Avengers.
Are we going to hire Kanye to play a role in this movie?
We're not going to hire Kanye, but basically he's teasing.
Serious question. Are you going to call it USA Avengers, or are you going to make the lore reference and call it the the Great Lakes Avengers?
No. USA Avengers was not the Great Lakes Avengers.
Okay.
It was an entirely different team.
Wait a minute. USA Avengers was a real thing?
It was a real thing.
No shit. Okay, carry on.
Yeah.
So he's talking about, okay, we're going to do an Avengers team that's going to be ran by the U.S. government and Falcon, because Falcon Cap, because he's more part of the globalist political humanitarian order. He forms his own team with superheroes fronting for all their countries. So you got people like Sabra and others all around.
You've got the new Avengers versus the Thunderbolts by the end of it, basically, right?
Hold up. We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that because the Thunderbolts is next up in rotation. So Falcon organizes his team with like the pluralistic forces, and Ross fails.
My bad.
And Ross fails to accomplish his goal with the USA Avengers because he interjects himself with the Red Hulk serum. And he turns into the Red Hulk, and his team gets together with Falcon's team, and they fight the Red Hulk and keep the Red Hulk from destroying Las Vegas. And the idea of the government having its own Avengers team is quietly washed away. But at the same point in time, Falcon's saying, having a superhero team like this is inherently dangerous, and it's only going to create a superhero arms race. And
can I throw a layer on top of that that's going to help reaffirm this notion? And
yes.
will please Church, because Church loves his mutant shoutouts. So
Yeah.
at so you have Falcon Avengers fighting Red Hulk, getting their ass kicked. You have Red Hulk's own team turning him, and they're getting their ass kicked, right? And at the 11th hour, a group of heroes show up who are also helping fight Red Hulk, and only the three of them together is almost enough to beat Red Hulk. Obviously, how he actually gets beat is plot, right?
Now, is there a way we can do a Wolverine and Mr. Fix-It Gray Hulk movie? Because that's my favorite.
I mean that'd be
well,
neat,
that's more like a TV show, though.
But here's the thing.
That's a good idea.
Here's the thing, though. In the aftermath, when they finally defeated the Red Hulk, or at least captured him, calmed him down, what have you, Wilson asks, "Hey guys, you came out of nowhere. You saved our bacon. Who are you?" And Captain Maple Leaf, because I fucking forgot his name, is like, we're the Omega Force. We work for Department H. That's all you need to know. And they just leave.
No. That I was actually
Alpha Flight. Sorry.
No, I was playing to tease Alpha Flight. Actually, is a reference in there because Falcon tried to organize foreign governments.
Right. So we're on the same page that he's right. There is a superheroes arm race of a nationalized format, and Canada has the closest super team.
And here's how you tie all that together.
Hold up.
First TV series of Phase 5.
Hold up. Before we get to the TV series.
Okay.
The end credits scene is Sam Wilson giving his speech on how we can't have a superhero arms race.
Do we have to give him another fucking speech?
Well, we do, because that's his character, because they've already ruined his character and assassinated him.
Fair.
At which point, and he says, like I said, next thing you know, people are going to create their own private security force superhero teams, at which point the TV gets turned off and you hear a voice say, I couldn't agree more. At which point Zemo steps forward and he puts on the Citizen V helmet.
Okay.
Setting us up for Thunderbolts.
So for the first TV series, I want an old-fashioned 80s buddy cop TV series.
Hold up. So Church?
Yeah, Larry, I gotta throw this at you and see if you like it better than what you just said. As much as I like Zemo, let's take two established properties and put them together for this Thunderbolts thing. Instead of it being Zemo making the announcement, you see someone in a long sleeve button down shirt with no jacket on, with the cuff rolled up about 3/4 of the way up the sleeve. And you see cigar smoke, and you hear J. Jonah Jameson say, "That's how they feel, huh?" And instead of forming the Sinister Six just to stop Spider-Man, he's back funneling money into his own private super team with villains that he was able to hire with his massive amount of money. And instead of the Sinister Six, J. Jonah Jameson is responsible for the first iteration of the Thunderbolts.
I mean, we can work with that idea.
Rude hates but likes this idea. I can tell by the sigh.
Working on it. The thing is that on one level it makes sense, and I like it from a more modern standpoint, because instead of just randomly having some villains and get me that Spider-Man, it's J. Jonah Jameson, philanthropist and millionaire, using his money for a cause he believes in. But what we need is a spider. We need a viper in the fold who can.
Oh yeah, you
subvert-
absolutely have that. Who usurps control away from Jameson mid movie.
Well, because Jameson wouldn't be on board with using villains. That's not in his personality.
Well, that's why he recruits Citizen B, not knowing it's Zemo.
And Citizen V recruits the villains without telling.
Right.
Well, here's the thing, though. In the Thunderbolts, because they've already got the cast set up. Thunderbolts aren't actually villains in this version.
Right.
Bucky is in the Thunderbolts in this version. Red Guardian is in the Thunderbolts in this version. Knockoff Black Widows in the Thunderbolts in this version.
Well, I think that in our continuity, introducing the Thunderbolts could be done at the end of Captain America: New World Order after the speech, and it's J. Jonah Jameson creating the Sinister Six, but instead of the Sinister Six being an outdated plot line, it's the Thunderbolts, and then the next movie is the power struggle between Zemo and J. Jonah Jameson for the Thunderbolts. And the moral lesson that money doesn't solve everything to JJJ.
Yeah. Okay, also, in this version of the team, we have U.S. Agent also in there. So it's a redemption arc for Johnny Walker.
But do you give him the Norman Osborn Iron Patriot suit?
Well, see, I have a different suggestion, just because I think it's fun.
My brain's coming up with ideas, but I need to write these down because they're not relevant yet.
My elbow hurts too much to continue typing, which is why I haven't been.
I haven't been typing because nobody told me to type. The execution in comics was really poor, but the idea was sound. So
I not have the goddamn piece of paper anymore.
So you have your Thunderbolts movie. You have the war between those who want the Thunderbolts to be good and those who want to subvert the intent of the Thunderbolts, right? And at some point towards the end, okay.
Does this work for your vision as introducing the Punisher into the MCU as a Thunderbolt and letting his gray morality kind of go along with the bad shit for a few minutes, and then he's just like, "Wait, aren't we the good guys?"
No,
I mean
no, we're not.
No. I mean that'd be interesting, but no. I was gonna.
I just think Frank Castle. We need to give Frank Castle some love and get him into the MCU.
What I was gonna propose is Tony is dead, right? Or Tony is busy running.
He doesn't have to be.
Right.
That's the whole point. He doesn't have to be.
I'm just saying Tony's either dead or he's running Stark. One of those two things. Hammer is out because he got his shit canned in Iron Man 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've gone
could have easily been bought out by Oscorp, though.
I was gonna say what you do is at the end of Thunderbolts, as they're talking about who to transfer it to and how to run it, because the government wants to use this idea of a state-sanctioned super team that's not necessarily super moral. They decide to give the day-to-day operations management to a known military industrialist, Norman Osborn, who's not the Green Goblin yet, but he's not a good guy. Right? And then that gives you the chance to get Willem Dafoe, who's still young enough to do it, in the suit. He doesn't have to get on the glider. He doesn't have to get into a goblin suit. He doesn't have to punch people in the face. You just have Willem Dafoe be Norman Osborn running the Thunderbolts as though he were Nick Fury.
Yeah.
Now,
real quick. So part of my idea that has been formulating for a show with Wolverine and Greyhawk, it's a Starsky and Hutch type PI show where they're in Madripoor investigating Tiger and Silver Samurai, who are funneling money to fund J. Jonah Jameson and his Thunderbolts project.
I love this not only because of the Miami Vice vibes, where you can just have half-naked women everywhere.
No,
right
in bikinis.
Ayrton, the only thing wrong with what you just said was the villain that they're tracking down is Snowflame.
Okay.
No. Here's the thing. You need to take.
I feel like Tiger's an
guys,
obscure enough villain that she
guys,
works in this setting.
You need to take it
So
in
does
directions.
Snowflame.
Guys, you take it in directions that Disney's Marvel Television has not been comfortable to do because they don't understand it. So yes, your overarching villain is the villainess you're describing, but what you do is episode to episode is ultimately literally episodic.
Well,
It's
literally just like a vending machine full of villains. You could have one every episode.
Right,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. So you have an episode where they're chasing Snowflame, and you have Fix-It Hulk literally commenting, "This is ridiculous."
So hold up. Before we get to the TV, I want to finish the movies for a moment.
I just want to say this thing though. The other reason that I like it is because we could use your television's idea to introduce Sunfire, a much underused X character from Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a Blade pitch though, so we can close out the movie portion of this. It won't.
Well, I
take
mean,
long.
here's the thing though. Blade's in development hell right now.
Yeah.
So Blade's in development hell right now. We already got a Midnight Suns movie. We can bump Blade into Phase 6.
No.
Now that we have a good introduction of Blade.
No,
I've got a better idea.
Okay, I want to hear what Church has got, but no, you actually have to use Blade as the capstone to Phase 5 to tie together all the supernatural threads that have been going throughout the other films.
Right.
Okay.
But what you do is you take everything that they've already done for Blade and you scrap it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just take the immediate, like the first incarnation of the original Blade movie with Wesley Snipes, and you just reissue that to theaters like it's a new movie and don't say a word.
I mean, if you could get away with it, I would encourage it.
All you gotta do is dress up the intro to match the new shit, and no one will know.
My thesis, my suggestion is you do a film called Blade, The Midnight Massacre. Okay.
Okay.
And what you're doing is you're doing the penultimate event in the first stage of Midnight Suns, where it actually turned out after all this worrying and whinging and fighting, and it's got to be Morbius. Morbius is the problem. Oh, it's got to be Lilith. We got to get Lilith. It's like, no, it was Blade. Blade was always the problem. Blade got possessed. Blade turned on the Midnight Suns. He almost killed them. Every time he took one out, he stole their powers. Right? So you do that. You introduce Blade as a primary character to the Marvelverse or to the MCU as an antagonist for the Midnight Suns, right? And then as you fight him, you fill in with flashbacks and narrative how he's actually one of the good guys. This is the worst possible thing that could have possibly happened, and how dire this all is, because he's not just a villain. He's a villain who knows the people he's fighting intimately.
Is the guy who played Whistler in the original Blade still alive?
Chris Christopherson, I believe, died.
Shit.
No. Let's go look. I'm going to go look, because I'm pretty sure Chris Christopherson's alive.
If he's still alive, I just want him to narrate it. I don't want him to even appear. I want him to narrate the flashbacks and the cutscenes. Tie it back into the original Blade.
Chris Christopherson's still alive.
Okay. He's been written hard and put away wet, so I mean
he's
sure.
very freaking old.
Don't talk about my motorcycle that way.
So the TV series. We're gonna set most of the TV series on fire. What if is animated? Hey, let's do a random ass story. It's fun.
Yeah, what if gets a pass?
Secret Invasion's already in the can. We just put some stuff together to tie in other stuff. Echo. Who cares about Echo?
Real quick, if Chris Christopherson is too ill to do the bit, you could still get Sam Elliott, who was the voice of the caretaker from Ghost Rider.
Yep. Yeah.
All right.
He also played the man who killed Bigfoot too. An underrated movie that we should all watch together at some point. So Echo is gone.
Okay.
Because I don't know why we need Echo. Was Echo actually important in the Young Avengers?
Well, this is where Church and I will be direly opposed, and there will be scowling and knives in my direction. I don't think the Young Avengers have ever fucking mattered. Individual characters might have become valuable. Oh wow, Church agrees. But
God damn. Hold on.
But
go light off fireworks or some shit.
Yeah, I know.
Smoke
but
signals out.
as a super team in and of itself, they've never specifically mattered.
But they've already been built up to a Young Avengers movie in Phase 6, so we're not going to completely waste all that energy. But nobody gives a shit about Echo. We're setting that TV show on fire.
Right.
Loki works because Loki's played by Christopher Hiddleston. He's a good actor.
All right, let me say this about that just real quick. Even though that show had some dire flaws, including female Loki, relative to the end of that series, okay? Spoilers for Loki, fuck all of you. Where Loki jumps into another reality and discovers that the problem wasn't solved, the problem has just changed, and now he's the wrong Loki in the wrong dimension. Right? That actually worked. So if you have Tom Hiddleston play a Loki who is dimensionally lorn, trying to explain to people who have never experienced what he's talking about because their timelines no longer exist, that opens up all kinds of interesting things. What needs to happen, though, in my opinion, is either it needs to come to terms with Loki's relationship with Asgard, which means to take the hit, take the money hit, but get Thor on screen with Loki. Okay? Or it needs to drop the comedic undertone and emphasize the heroic adventure angle. Make Loki cool. Because if they stick with this Loki's kind of silly and things just kind of happen angle, that won't work.
That is bad.
Real quick to extrapolate on the Young Avengers thing.
Yeah.
I thought Young Avengers were trash since they were introduced because they're a blatant ripoff of the Teen Titans and their popularity growth in the early 2000s.
They're also a ripoff of the Avengers.
Well, no.
But more importantly than that, they're a less good version of Avengers Academy.
Well, Avengers Academy wasn't great to begin with, so this was
Avengers
really low bar.
Well, Avengers Academy is just X-Men 2.0 with a different school.
Right.
Yes.
Although, as I think about it, I would love for there to be an event that is Xavier Academy versus Avengers Academy.
All right, this is a
sideline. It's college versus college football.
This is a sideline discussion that I think we should have real quick before we continue. We've only got a few more TV shows, but and real quick, I'm going to go through the last three real quick by myself. Ironheart doesn't need to happen. Scrap it. Done. Doesn't.
She was already introduced in Race War. We don't need her to have a TV show.
Agatha, Coven of Chaos, let it happen just because I like that actress.
Also, we've introduced a whole lot of supernatural stuff.
Right. Daredevil Born Again shouldn't happen because they've destroyed Daredevil's character in She-Hulk.
Well,
I think they maybe do something.
They made Matt Murdock do a walk of shame.
Wait a minute.
Never take him seriously again.
Well, wait a minute. Let me roll back.
At this point in time, nobody will remember She-Hulk, so it'll be fun.
Let me roll back.
Oh wait, never mind. She-Hulk doesn't happen, so we get Daredevil again.
Right, but more importantly, let me rewind to something you brought up earlier, Church.
Yeah.
The title is Daredevil Born Again.
Right? I know it's Frank Miller.
I know it's referring to Frank Miller, but more importantly, could you not make the argument that Charlie Cox's Daredevil could be redeemed if they went back to formula and had a Punisher v Daredevil storyline to introduce the Punisher into the MCU and actually focus on what fucking matters about Daredevil?
No, because they have to bring Kingpin back for Born Again.
The thing is, they didn't fucking kill him. They're already bringing him back.
They have to bring the guy that played Kingpin because
he's
already bringing him back.
Well, no, he already came back. He was in the Hawkeye show.
And they still didn't kill him. They brought him back.
Good.
Yep.
But the sideline discussion we have to have real quick.
Well, what I'm getting at real quick is the problem with Daredevil is not Daredevil, and it's not the Walk of Shame, as much as you guys want to say it is because you don't like it. Okay?
No, that is a problem. It is a problem. It might not be
a problem. It is not the problem. No, the problem with Daredevil, when you actually go back to the Netflix series and watch it, is the same problem it always was. It was the problem in the Daredevil film with Ben Affleck. That's not half bad because Ben Affleck gives a shit. Elektra is a boring fucking character. Played badly.
But you can make something salvageable for Daredevil. We need that Marvel Street thing. So we're killing two shows. We're killing Echo. We're killing Ironheart. We're going to slot into one of those slots the buddy comedy Wolverine and Madripoor as a bartender detective who fights crimes. It's basically going to be like no. We're not going to go with Miami Vice though. It's going to be like Simon and Simon.
Me and Ayrton might have to go to blows on this one actually because I wanted to interject on that and say that should probably be like an episode maybe of the show that I think should happen.
Okay.
What's the show you think should happen?
I think the show that should happen should be called Weapon X. And I think it should be kind of played very similarly to WandaVision. And it's a show where episode 1, you see Wolverine laying down on the table and either Jean Grey or Professor Xavier going into his head to try and unlock some of his memories. But instead of playing out like real life memories, they play out as very comedic scenes and plays on other pieces of pop culture that happened around that time frame. Like maybe you get a Starsky and Hutch episode with, Banner and Fix-It in Madripoor, and then you get like a Friends episode when they're all sitting down with Alpha Flight, and maybe you get like an episode of a game show where something like really important in Wolverine's life happened.
Wait, two things. I will agree to this because this gives us the opportunity to have Hugh Jackman, Cable, and Deadpool in a buddy drama or a buddy scene in one episode. But also, you just dropped a bomb unintentionally. You know what? You just said the magic words. Game show. You can have an arcade episode with arcade.
Damn right.
Yeah.
Damn right.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't hate the idea.
Yeah, but you get 9 episodes and they're all like very, very different like episodes. And in the end of it, you just get Wolverine waking up and Professor Xavier going, I don't think I can get through your mental shield, Logan.
Well, so see, I would change it a little bit because part of his memory issues is his healing factor, like heals traumatic memories. So the farther they try and go back in his past
that's what I'm saying.
Memories,
that's why
they get more ridiculous.
Right. That's what I'm getting at. Yeah.
Okay.
So you give a history of what Wolverine has been through, but you give it in some kind of a comedic lens in certain facets. But then you also can like do a hard cut, and then you just get like a couple of flashes of Logan standing there covered in blood after he just had to kill like 50 people because of his Weapon X programming.
See, I would,
but he remembers it as a cheesy scene from Starsky and Hutch.
See, I would take it a different way for the end of that series to lead into a season 2 Weapon X.
I wasn't solid on the ending, so what do you got?
Well, okay, so Wolverine is in a scene,
I don't think there needs to be a season 2.
No, just bear with me. bear with me because you'll like this. So Wolverine is in a scene. The scene ends. He wakes up. He sits up fast. He's sweating. He's panting. He's angry because he's Wolverine.
Yeah,
right?
the claws are out.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Xavier is there. His hands are shaking. He looks horrified. He's like,
Pallid.
Logan, I don't think I can help you, but if we just work together, I'm sure I can stabilize you. And Wolverine's like getting up and he's getting his shirt and he's getting ready to go. And Xavier is talking fast, trying to get him to stop. And as he's leaving the building, he's like, Logan, if you go, I can't promise there'll be a place for you when you come back. Right? And as Logan's leaving, he says, I'm going to Japan. And he slams the door behind him and is gone. And then if you did a season 2, you could transition to the awesome Logan in Japan, Yuriko, Silver Samurai storylines that we wanted.
I think you put that in the memories because Yuriko becomes the villain later. You put that as one of the memories, one of the more current ones.
But that's what I'm saying.
The show starts off like really, really dumb and whimsical.
Right.
And then just like WandaVision at the very end gets stupid serious.
But what I'm getting at is the idea that Xavier tried to help Logan, and he did, but he only helped Logan facilitate enough information to go on a revenge kick. Because that's what Wolverine does.
If you're gonna do that, instead of going to Japan with Yuriko, have him come back to Professor Xavier because Xavier says something along the line of, I have a place for that anger. And then you get an X-Force movie.
So
I mean, that could work too. That could work too. But I just want to throw this out there. Church?
Yeah.
Are we saying Omega Red scene? Omega Red episode?
Yes.
Please?
So my idea for the last slot we got for the TV before we move on to Phase 6, which all this builds towards, is I'm gonna pitch to you a dark horse idea of a show, Dazzler, and it's about Dazzler versus Revenge Incorporated, which is
Dazzler. Really?
Hold up, because Dazzler. They've been talking about making her into a TV show or a movie for some time. So she's a rocker.
Before you even justify it, Larry, let me explain what Dazzler opens up, Ayrton.
Okay.
In the original Secret Wars, Kang.
God damn it!
Not Kang. Claw, the sound villain, had been turned into a light construct by Dazzler.
Mm-hmm.
And stuck on Galactus's ship. Doom pulled Claw out of Galactus's ship to be kind of a henchman. Mm-hmm. And Claw was instrumental in actually overthrowing Doom and depowering him after he stole Galactus's and the Beyonders' power.
Yep.
See,
so you have to have Dazzler to do Secret Wars.
Okay. You son of a bitch.
But nobody else knows this besides some fucking weirdo like me.
Wait a minute. Church, it gets better because I'm a fucker. Okay? So you have scene. You have a scene. You give it a back date because it's Dazzler's first appearance or her second appearance. Okay? She's up and coming. She's not a star yet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, right? And she's performing, doing her thing. And you pan through the crowd, and there's Gollum as Claw grooving out because he's all in about the sound and he loves music, right?
Mm-hmm.
And while he's grooving, that's when the Black Panther and the racist honor guard hit squad jump in to get him. And her concert turns into a firefight as he runs out. I can't hear you, Church.
For crimes against Wakanda.
Right, for crimes against Wakanda. But even though we've wiped away most of the previous phases as best we can, race war still happened. So they've been chasing Claw. So that ties it in. That makes it part of what's going on. Dazzler's not an add-on. She's an expansion.
No.
So
here's the thing. Here's the beautiful thing about a retcon and the way that we did it as opposed to the way that the MCU and the DCEU do it.
Yeah.
Okay. With our Age of Apocalypse retcon, we're just leaving the door open to clean up messes. It's the original retcon. We're doing our Crisis on Infinite Earths. We're doing
Right.
we're doing our original retcon now, as opposed to our 17th retcon. We can't do another one. We don't get another retcon.
Yep.
Okay.
So Dazzler's antagonist is a group called Revenge Incorporated, because this was one of her antagonists from the original comic book. They're just people who fuck with people. They get hired to fuck with people, and they get hired to fuck with Dazzler. Dazzler ends up having to move in with her good buddy Simon Williams, who's an up-and-coming actor. That's how we introduce Wonder Man.
There's also a third roommate called Jubilee, because that works.
I mean, we could do that, or we could do Tigra.
Nah, it's got to be Jubilee. It's got to be Jubilee, man, because then you get the team up of Jubilee and Wolverine in one episode, keeping the continuity of Wolverine being in everything.
Oh, that kind of hurts me a little bit.
I have an idea, but give me a minute. I'm going to go look up a name while you guys talk.
And at the end of the sequence, Dazzler goes off to have some superhero adventures, but somebody else new moves into the house. A little guy you might have heard of called Hercules, who also wants to get into movies. And that's how we kind of meander through Phase 5, and the I'm going to do this myself moment comes in, where the Beyonder at the teaser trailer,
and this is literally a ripoff of Friends in the superhero world.
It's literally at the ending point of that episode is when we are officially flipped the switch to Phase 6, where the Beyonder goes saying, "Oh, now I just have to bring the gang all together," and so he snaps the fingers.
So I have a super subtle reference that only true comic fans will catch, that would, I think, enhance Dazzler as well, because it lays the groundwork for new things. Okay? Obviously, as stated, it's Friends, but it follows Dazzler's rise as a performer and a superhero, right? At some point, she's signing paperwork and she's making deals, and she's being approached for modeling and other things. And one of the people that she signs with is Daniel Kingsley.
I like it.
Okay.
Daniel Kingsley is the brother of Roderick Kingsley, the Hobgoblin. And the thing that's pertinent here is that the Kingsleys were businessmen, but they weren't competing with Oscorp or Kingpin or any of the big people, because they were never that good. He was primarily a fashion and cosmetics mogul, right? So the brother of a supervillain is running the day business of the Hobgoblin, right? And
for the Wasp.
I can't hear you, Church. You sound like you're in three rooms over.
He said we could make the Wasp a model in this scenario.
Also, absolutely true, because the Wasp should have a cameo so we can remind people the Wasp fucking exists.
Are we gonna have a scene where she gets beat?
No.
No. But my point is you seed this villain for a later standalone Spider-Man film where we actually get the fucking Hobgoblin, because we've had the Hobgoblin hinted at us since the original Spider-Man 2, and never gotten the Hobgoblin on screen.
Well, hold up, because you see, starting in Phase 6, we're going to get us some Deadpool 3, and we're going to get another Spider-Man movie.
Well, if we're going to go over Yay, we're going to save Phase 6 for next episode, because we've been at this for an hour and 45 minutes.
We definitely got to do that for the next episode, but we got through Phase 5. That's what matters.
Yes. Also, I don't know that Hobgoblin's so important, Rune.
He's not, but it would be valuable to be different, because we've had, three?
Let's skip
Hobgoblin movies
and go straight to Jack-o'-lantern for a Halloween special.
Oh, no, I mean, sure, I'll do Jack-o'-lantern. I love me some Philip Masondale. but by that same token,
he could literally be one of the Thunderbolts recruited by J. Jonah Jameson.
Actually, that's an interesting reinterpretation of a character that kind of raises up a bad character. Because we've been doing all this occult stuff, you could have Demo Goblin appear as an antagonist in something.
Oh, we definitely have to get to a Spider-Man movie with the doppelganger.
Yes.
That should be a Phase 6 thing because of the residual energies and some shit that happened because of the Beyonder after the Secret Wars is resolved. We get a Spider-Man lost fucking Spider-Man abroad or some stupid shit like that.
No.
What you ultimately need, let me just say this real quick. What you ultimately need is you need Tom Hardy, Woody Harrelson, whoever your Spider-Man is, in one room for a maximum carnage.
With Tobey Maguire as the fucking doppelganger.
Tobey Maguire as the doppelganger might actually work.
So hold up. But my thing is we're gonna tease this for the next episode. My thing for the next Spider-Man movie is we need to focus on the part of Spider-Man that we always like to gloss over. The part of Spider-Man where Peter Parker was going to Studio 54 and Eddie Murphy and shit were there.
Yeah, doing cocaine.
Doing cocaine.
Well, here's the thing.
Speaking of cocaine, are we ready to talk about Yay?
Okay, I am.
I just one last thing about this subject. One might think because of my distaste for what Joey Q did to Spidey that I don't like the character. It's not true. But if we do a Spider-Man series about Spider-Man being a swinging bachelor and going to Studio 54 and actually being popular for once, then that's the film you've got to introduce the Black Cat in.
Ooh, that's good. The problem is that gets into some rights issues. But let's talk about Yet.
Okay.
Be right back. I gotta go get my satanic hood on. Oh wait, I already have it on.
Do you also have your Jewish robes on?
Well, we're doing some Semite sorcery tonight. So
is this Yay in the studio?
I think this. I think. Hold on. Okay.
So, Rune, are you at least aware of the controversy of when Ye, the artist formerly known as Kanye West, went on our favorite punchline Alex Jones' show?
No, I want to be very clear. This happened. I was told about it the night of, and for the next 2 days, I have not been able to escape it. People keep bringing it to my attention, going, "Joe, are you guys going to talk about this on the podcast?" And I'm like, "Yeah, probably."
So I've got the minutes from the Alex Jones thing. If you'd like me to read the minutes.
Wait a minute.
Please,
how long is it? And how many people do we need? Should we be doing a dramatic reading of Yay?
No, it's a 3-hour podcast.
God, no, my throat is not ready to do another Alex Jones impersonation.
Literally, like I've got 8 bullet points for the minutes of the 3.5-hour podcast.
Okay.
These are all points by Ye, by the way. It has nothing to do with anything anyone else said. These are all things that came out of Ye's mouth.
And not opinions that are shared by the Church of Failure.
Right. I do want to say this is the gospel according to Ye, not the gospel according to the Church of Failure.
Well, more like the gospel according to Hitler.
I mean, Wait, how are you in front of me, Ayrton? Why is this a thing? There. All right. According to Ye, pornography is pedophilia, as well as strippers are pedophilia. So if you enjoy strippers and or pornography, you are a pedophile.
Think about it.
Apple's logo has nothing to do with the fact that there is a type of apple named Macintosh. It is the forbidden fruit of Eden, with the bite taken out of it.
Because the technology leads to the fall of man.
Benjamin Netanyahu makes an appearance in puppet form.
That was really great.
Hitler wasn't so bad, guys.
I love Hitler.
Jews bad and pedos.
I mean, not all Jews, but all Jews. He actually said that. No, it's just the leaders of the Jews. Let me talk about why I hate all the Jews.
57 minutes in, and I remember Fuentes is here. Loomer waiting to call yay, I guess. I wasn't prepared for someone breaking Alex Jones's conditioning. Fuentes appears to be trying to wrangle the discussion back. What?
I was just going to say, when you're in a race to be more fucked up in the head than Will Smith's kid, you need to reassess your life goals.
Oh no, this wasn't a race. Ye had won already. Jaden hadn't even gotten
up. Nick Fuentes appears to be trying to wrangle the discussion back in the direction of the rails.
Because the rails are a key component of the third position, which is the ultimate resolution of what is known on the internet as the JQ.
Those are the minutes from the Alex Jones Kanye West interview.
So, in all seriousness, Kanye West appeared to be having some sort of schizoaffective episode. He was acting like
what are you talking about? That was the most sane I've ever seen him.
I mean, no. He's been escalating.
Oh, also, wait, I've got another note here. Ray J is Kanye's best friend after blowing Kim's back out, but not having a 10-inch Jewish penis.
Yes.
So Larry, does circumcision add an extra few inches? Is that how that works?
No.
Oh.
No.
I guess I won't go get a second one then.
No, it does make it look bigger though.
Yeah,
maybe I will go get a second one then.
Yeah.
So Kanye was having a mental illness moment, so he couldn't do all the heavy Nazi lifting. So every so often he'd say, "Hey Nick, explain this for me."
I feel like I need to go get my PPK and just have it on my side right now and go sit in my Volkswagen.
So Nick Fuentes had to basically be the human 4chan infographic for Kanye. And Alex Jones...
I appreciated the fact that every time Alex Jones asked Kanye a question, he'd ask Nick.
Yeah. Also, according to Kanye, Hitler invented the microphone.
He did.
And also the highway system.
Correct.
That's actually true.
No, actually it isn't.
He invented the Autobahn, not the highway system.
Okay, which is our modern conception of the highway system.
No, actually it wasn't. There was highways before that.
He literally just wanted to go as fast as he could to where he wanted to be.
Well, yeah.
In other words, Hitler had Sonic the Hedgehog autism. Gotta go fast.
Gotta go fast, son. Wait, does that mean Bo Blacks is Hitler? I'm here for this.
And Kanye said, Hitler's done all these good things. And I mean, he had really nice uniforms. And we're not allowed to say that.
Hugo Boss, son.
Fuck yeah.
Also, the crazy, Russian Satanist chick who's doing all these child porn looking things for Balenciaga. She's my friend. And Jesus wants you to love Balenciaga.
Oh, and I will totally take your wife into a back room to discuss her clothing line and keep it Christian. You can't be there though. But I'll keep it Christian.
In that
I will not have sex with your wife in that back room.
In that Old Testament way.
Yeah.
Also, in the beginning, he said,
only in Minecraft.
Did Ye spend some money on heretical titles so that he could get a lordship, so that he could exercise the Lord's right to the first night?
He did not, no, because he's actually God. Remember, he's Jesus.
No. He is a vessel of God.
So, in addition to that, in the opening of the sequence of the show,
it's not Yahweh anymore; it's Yahweh.
It's Yahweh. In the opening segment of the show, he told Alex Jones to
church.
Yes.
Do ye know the way?
Do you know the way?
Do you know the way?
So in the
is the way fast?
so also the opening. Also, in the opening segment of the show, he told Alex Jones to stop cursing or he'd leave. And then about 30 minutes later, he started cursing.
He also made Alex Jones clear all the papers off of his desk.
and he told some of the people working in the background to be quiet because he's super sensitive to noise.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Excuse me. Anyway.
And the reason
way to hell.
and the reason he said that he loved Hitler is because every human being has value, especially Hitler. And he's tired. He's tired of all these labels. And then at one point in time, he said, I'm not just let's pretend like I'm not talking about Hitler. Let's pretend like I'm talking about Jesus. And then he started talking about Jesus like Jesus was Hitler.
Guys, do you think we can get Nick Fuentes fired if we introduce Ye to Captain Tazaryak?
I mean, Nick Fuentes works for himself.
No. But see, do you think that Ye will fire Nick Fuentes from his campaign and Milo if we introduce him to Captain Tazaryak?
I just think we should be his campaign staff.
No. We gotta have a real Hebrew Israelite.
Well, no. Hold up. Kanye already has black Israelites on his advisory panel.
But is Captain Tazaryak one of them? Is the infamous best guest of the kill stream one of them?
No, he is not.
He should.
They gotta wait for that one. Because Ethan Ralph's not getting a paycheck.
I was just trying to take a
You
drink of
understand
water,
the-
you sons of bitches.
Do you understand the value of the essential oils that the black Israelites could bring to this campaign?
God damn it! I'm taking my headphones off.
So Rune, how do you feel about your cultural enrichment?
Kanye's wife understands essential oils.
Oof.
I don't know.
I
If she does.
find
Ray
that-
I need to go
J
watch.
just used
Just-
spit.
I find that
Maybe that's why Ray J and Kanye.
I think the most racist person here in this racism time was Kanye.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, we're not racist. Kanye is.
Now,
I'm just saying.
what we
I
need
think,
to do.
I think
Also,
the most racist
Kanye said
person
he
here
loved
is
Vladimir
Kanye.
Putin. He also said he loved Vladimir Putin.
And Nick Fuentes doubled down on that.
Yeah.
Now, is there a way with our Phase 5 that we can make Kanye the new Black Panther?
No, Kanye's the Beyonder. I've already got him booked. He's also Apocalypse in the intro movie.
No,
Kangs and shit.
no, church. Kanye is the voice of the Panther God.
Right. No. Kanye can be the Beyonder. Drake can be Apocalypse. How about that? Either Drake or 21 Savage. You guys pick. 21.
Ooh, that's a hard one.
I'm going to go 21 Savage. He's got a knife tattooed on his head. That's intimidating.
I'm kind of leaning towards that too.
Also, there may be another chapter in the Yi saga. Hassan Piker, formerly of
I'm coming to kill you.
That Hassan Piker is trying to work at a venue where he can talk to Yi. The problem is, for Yi, Nicholas Fuentes not being on stage is a deal breaker. And for Hassan Piker, Nicholas Fuentes being on stage is a deal breaker.
The one with less money has to make the amend, so Hassan will bend over for yeah.
And then we also haven't brought up the fact that those leaked text messages from Milo saying he's going to destroy the Republican Party and take Trump down with him because, Daddy Trump didn't give him enough attention and didn't hug him enough.
Well, I mean,
I've been over in front of Trump, but he didn't fuck me in my ass. Now I'm upset.
So
I'm not even gay anymore.
So hold up. I could go into that deep lore of the Milo Yiannopoulos schizo posting, but that'll be for another show. There's some deep lore involved.
Is
It
there?
involves this being Milo's war with a group of ultra-conservative billionaires.
Is this a memo that we're not privy to because we're too Gentile?
No. You see, you have not learned the deep lore. But Laura Loomer has exposed some of the deep lore about how allegedly, Milo Yiannopoulos swatted Marjorie Taylor Greene at Marjorie Taylor Greene's express direction.
Yeah,
so that Marjorie Taylor Greene could attempt to get Kiwi Farm shut down. Of course, she failed, as did Kessels.
Look, any conversation that Pete Davidson is involved in, I don't want to know the deep lore of, okay?
Also, Church, while I am not qualified to say so, Larry really is. I think we fall into the realm of what's referred to as good goyim.
Oof. Oof. Let's not use the kind of language that Nicholas Fuentes would use. Because then otherwise someone might have to throw a Sprite in an In-N-Out burger.
I'm a Gentile. I will never be a good goy.
But the Reader's Digest version is Milo Yiannopoulos and Gamergate was all funded by ultra-conservative billionaires who turned on Milo.
The Mercers mostly, right?
The Mercers. Yeah. Correct. Who turned on Milo, and Milo said, hey, listen, the Catholic priests molested me and it was okay. And then I later groomed and molested some boys too. And because of that, Milo's going against them. And also Chris Poole was hired by Kanye.
Oh yeah, Chris that's right. Poole I forgot about that.
Hold on.
Is Tim Poole's brother?
Are you telling me that Milo looked at him and said, hey, now, look here, listen.
See, we got all of our good content out. We saved racism time for the end because we know it's garbage and no one's watching.
We actually have a few people still watching on Rumble.
So on Rumble, thank you for being here for racism time.
I thought we're trying to get banned off of YouTube.
So say goodnight to everybody, Ayrton.
All right, good night, everybody. I know how to work it. I'm hitting the end button.
Wait.
Okay.
Everybody else gets to say goodbye too.
All right, go ahead.
Because I just want to mention for people who follow this who don't always get to have a chat with me. Hey guys, I submitted a story to a thing.
Fuck yeah!
Let's hope they accept it.
All right.
I'm already working on another one. Actually, I'm.
Rune is very submissive this week.
Fuck you. I'm 1,300 words up on a follow up. So if they don't accept it, I've got a growing body of work sitting around here.
Fuck yeah.
So are we off?
No, we're still going because Rune wanted to say his thing.
Yeah, right. I said my thing.
Okay, you said your thing? All right.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
The second time.